Hey, Sean here, and in this video I'm going to talk about why I quit my 9-to-5 job and the fact that I'm now all in on my new consulting business, WorldForge. And I just wanted to basically use this video as a way to document that process, that journey that I went through, tell the story, and hopefully this is helpful to anyone who is currently thinking about starting a business, quitting their job, or they're thinking about, they're juggling the business and their job and they're thinking about, okay, should I go all in on this business or not? What does that process look like? And I have a 4-step formula that I want to guide you through, which hopefully should be helpful. So it really starts in the mind. A lot of people think that this decision is purely practical, right? So you'll have heard people like Alex Becker or whatever, some videos from like 5 years ago, talking about, well, first you want to get a part-time job or a job, and then you want to reduce your monthly expenses. I'm not really going to talk about that. I assume you already know that. Yeah, don't start a business if you have no money, obviously, right? Get a bit of savings, get a bit of cash, or at least have a way that that you'll have money for 3 to 6 months so you can get things off the ground. I'm going to talk more about the mental aspect of this game because for me, that was the main barrier, right? I had a job, I was being paid decently well, and I still couldn't do it, right? And no matter how much I thought about it, no matter how much I really wanted it, I just couldn't make the leap. And I had to just identify it, label it, call it exactly what it was, and only then I could really deal with it. So we'll jump in a second. I'm going to go through exactly step by step this decision-making process, and then hopefully this is a framework that you can use to help you make the right decision for you. This is not a video saying, hey, you should definitely quit your business. This is not up to me, this is up to you, right? But hopefully this can give you a bit of clarity on, if this is the right path for you or not. So I mentioned that, quitting your job and going all in is going to be a mental thing. What you're probably looking for is confidence, right? You just wish that, if only I could just be confident. If only I could just do things and be confident like everyone else. How is it that these people can just go and start businesses and take all this risk and stuff? Well, the way to get confidence is you need to go through the process and you need to take risk. And so I found this framework through a mentor of mine. But I thought this was really helpful. Sorry for the reflection. I know you can kind of see yourself there, but try to ignore that. Focus on the blue writing. So you've got confidence at the top here, and then you have commitment, and then you have courage. I'm reading this backwards. Sorry, and then you have capability. And so this is kind of like a cycle, right? You need to go through this in order. And what a lot of people think is that, okay, first I get the confidence, and then I make the decision, and then I be brave, and then I basically become brave, and then I gain the capability, and then I learn the skills, right? But it's actually not like that at all. And I'll show you what I mean, because people get the order completely wrong. It's actually like this. Right? So you start over here with the commitment. You start by saying, I'm going to do this. Then you act in spite of your fear. Then you learn the skills and you learn how to do it and you get good. And only then, after you've got the proof and actually acted and you've gotten good at the thing, do you gain confidence. And that's how it works, right? It doesn't start with you, if only I could just be confident. It starts with you making the decision. And this is something that I really struggled with. And I really struggled with this. And I was just afraid, essentially. And so if you're in this position and you've been thinking about doing it for so long, you're probably stuck at this step. Or maybe you're stuck at this step, but most likely you're stuck at this step if you're like me. So commitment, what does commitment look like? Commitment is about making a decision. So you need to decide hey, I'm gonna do this. This is what I want. You've got to admit to yourself, this is my dream, this is my goal, this is what I want to do. And if you can do that, then you must be willing to make sacrifices. So what comes after commitment? Sacrifice. Because you cannot commit to something without sacrificing something else. That's what a decision means. If you look up the root word, or the root of the word decision, I think it's decidere in Latin. Essentially, it just means to cut off, right? So to decide something, like a dissection, right? You know, when you operate on someone and you cut them apart. Yeah, like you need to get rid of the other options. So if you're thinking between like, okay, it's my 9 to 5 and it's my business, or it's between, in my relationship, it's between this person and that person. You've got to decide, you've got to commit to one option. Only once you've commit fully to that option will you have the courage to take action. Because if you're constantly thinking, well, I could just stop doing this and do this other thing, then you know you're never going to be in properly, right? You've got to burn the boats. You've got to burn the boats and you've got to commit to that thing. And something amazing happens once you commit. Once you're like, okay, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this business. Then courage is the next step. And at first it might seem a bit scary, but once you commit and once you say, hey, I'm not going to do those other things, I'm going to do this thing, you actually gain a lot of courage. You gain a lot of emotional power and like spirit within you. And I don't say this to like be woo-woo or whatever. It's like, no, like when you're focused on one option, you gain a lot of confidence and you get a lot of courage. And so that's what the next step is about. Once you've committed, it's then about just acting and being like, I have no idea how this is going to turn out, but I'm committed. Then you're in this step. And so this is where I was maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago. So I handed in my notice of my job. I started reaching out to people. I had no idea if they wanted to buy what I wanted to buy. But I did it anyway because I was taking courage, right? I wanted to build that courage within myself. You know, I sent lots of outreach messages. I let everyone in my network know what I was doing, right? I was now all in. I let everyone know. I let all the people in my life know what I was doing. I started taking courageous action. Then I built the capability. I started taking sales calls. I started booking appointments. I built my offer and my product offering, and I had some semblance of like what I was going to do. But I didn't actually take action on it. Now I was taking action on my plan. And it's only then that I built the capability and I got my first client, right, which I did very recently. So I went through this process and now I'm at a step where I'm acting enough and I'm starting to see results in the real world that I'm starting to gain confidence. But this only happened because I commit, right? I commit fully and I decided this is what I'm going to do and I'm not going to do this job anymore. Then I took courageous action. Then I started to learn through the action and through the feedback. And then as things started working, I started to gain confidence. So that's the model through which you can look at this decision. And you've got to understand, like, at what stage are you at? Are you in the commitment stage? Are you in the courage stage? Have you already decided what you're going to do? You just need to, like, do it. Are you in the capability stage? Are you doing stuff, but it's just not working? Are you doing it consistently? It's not working. Then you got to figure out exactly how to do what you're doing, but do it better. Or are you doing it? Are you getting some results? You're building capability, and you just need to repeat it. That's basically where I'm at now, right? I've got my first client. I've got some processes for getting clients, and I'm delivering some results now for those clients. But now I just need to figure out, like, okay, how do I make it repeatable? How do I gain that confidence and that oomph that's really gonna like skyrocket my business and just like make it way easier? So identify where you're at, and then you know your next action. You know, if you're in the commitment stage, your next action is you need to make a decision, right? You've got to just like, what are you doing? You know, what is your dream? What do you actually want? And then take the leap. If you're at the courage stage, you need to take action. It actually doesn't really matter so much what you do, but you just got to act towards it. And then once you're able to take daily action on that thing, you got to figure out what works. You got to build those capabilities. You got to aim a little bit more, figure out exactly where you want to shoot, and then start shooting again. And this process will guide you through, you know. So that's what I've decided to do. And in terms of specifics, exactly like what I'm going to be doing, my offer is around helping coaches and consultants to build learning platforms and environments for their clients. So if you're doing like a one-on-one coaching kind of service delivery for your clients, I'll help you do one-to-many and like design a program and an experience for people. Lets you service more clients, lets you make more money more consistently, and acquire clients a bit easier as well. So that's what I've been helping people with. It's been working really well. If you're interested in that kind of thing, you can message me on LinkedIn. There's probably a link in the description. But why I really made this video is to help those people who are just starting out, because I know what it's like, and I was stuck in my own head and just kind of like looping on this forever until someone came along and showed me this model. So I'm hoping by showing this model, this can help you as well. And I have another thing as well for those people. We are starting a community, a peer-to-peer support network. So you can access that. It should be the first link in the description. That will take you to it. And there's a small group of us there. There's maybe 6 or 7 of us. And what we're going to be doing is from August, we're going to be doing a weekly accountability meeting where we're going to be talking about these kind of things. These are all people like myself and like you who are starting businesses. They're trying to get their first couple clients, or they're trying to get more consistent clients. They're trying to work on their offer. They're trying to select their niche. They're trying to find product market fit. They're in that like first 6 to 12 months of business. And this is exactly who I want to be spending my time with right now, right? It's other people who are on the journey with me. So if you're alone and you don't know any other people who are into this kind of stuff, and you want to join our weekly chats, go check out that community. It's in the description. Right now, it is paid, but like the price is very, very low because we're just like looking to get more members. And most of our members right now are coming from referrals and like word of mouth and stuff. I'm not really like promoting this. I'm not expecting to make much money from it either. My business is in consulting, but I set this up because I didn't have anyone else in my life to talk about business with. So yeah, if you're in a similar spot, you can come chat to us there. Otherwise, I hope this was useful, and I will see you in the next video. I expect to make more videos about this kind of topic, about what it's like building a business, and hopefully you can find that valuable too. So subscribe if that sounds good, and if not, well, if you don't like it, you probably wouldn't have made it this far anyway, so you may as well just subscribe. All right, see you soon.